Hey everyone, welcome back to Alpha Insights. I'm Archer.
And I'm Adam. Great to have you with us. And hey, if you have questions while you're listening, drop them at stockalpha.ai.
All right, quick setup. Markets in the United States are closed today for Good Friday. So when we talk prices, we'll be careful and use the most recent trading reference, which is as of Thursday, April 2nd.
Right, so the real story we want to unpack is that line from Pam Bondi at a public hearing earlier this year. She told Congress that the Dow was over 50,000 and that was the thing they should be focused on.
Yeah, that's a good point. The day before her testimony, the index did hit an all-time high. And then, over the following weeks and months, it trended lower. So citing a market peak as a sort of performance metric was optimistic, to put it mildly.
Exactly, and what I find interesting is not just the numbers, but the optics. Saying the market level is proof of job success ties your credibility to something that can change in a heartbeat. Right.
There's a bigger lesson here about market timing and narrative. Analysts note that an index hitting a new high is a snapshot. It doesn't prove a policy worked, and it certainly doesn't immunize you from fallout when other issues surface.
Totally. I mean, when you look at the data, markets are forward-looking and noisy. A political figure leaning on a one-day peak as evidence of competence is risky, because a headline can change the story overnight.
And in this case, there were other, more important questions on the table. The hearing involves survivors and sensitive files, areas where the public expects accountability. Not addressing those issues, and instead pivoting to the Dow, amplified the scrutiny.
Yeah, honestly, I was a bit surprised by how fast the narrative shifted. By the time of subsequent events, her role had changed, and that arc from claim to career consequence happened pretty quickly.
It did, and for listeners who are thinking about markets more generally, there's a technical side worth noting. A peak followed by a decline isn't evidence the peak was wrong. Markets move on expectations. But it does expose the danger of public claims that hinge on short-term market levels.
Which connects to a practical point. Whether you're a policymaker, a CEO, or an individual investor, tying your credibility to a single number invites risk. Analysts use multiple indicators for a reason. Breadth, earnings trends, interest rates, and policy signals all matter.
And just to be clear for listeners, we're discussing what happened and why it matters for credibility and market narratives. This is not personalized financial advice. We're sharing analysis and context only.
Good call. Also worth noting, U.S. markets are paused for the long weekend, last traded on Thursday, April 2nd, and will reopen Monday, April 6th. So any reactions to recent headlines will happen when trading resumes.
Short reactions, interesting moral lesson, risky public math, and the market kept doing what markets do.
Short and sweet.
To wrap up the financial takeaway, analysts say don't conflate a headline market high with lasting validation. Use broader measures and be careful about letting short-term index levels become your message.
And the political takeaway is similar. Credibility is cumulative. If your public statements contradict verifiable facts or distract from core responsibilities, the fallout can be quick and decisive.
So, final quick takeaways together.
1. A one-day market high isn't a career report card.
2. Tying credibility to volatile metrics is risky.
3. Markets are closed for Good Friday. Remember, the last trade was Thursday, April 2nd, and things will continue on Monday.
Got questions? We'd love to hear from you. Head over to stockalpha.ai, where you can ask us anything and we'll answer live. And while you're there, check out more market content.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back after the long weekend with more analysis. Take care.